Sports Top 10 Funniest Moments. Sports are a great way to distress, but did you know they can also be hilarious? Here are the 10 funniest sporting moments. 10. Fan camera. Roger Federer's reaction to a fan asking for a selfie during an exhibition match with Alexander's Zverev in Argentina has gone viral. He decided to go a little beyond with the postures when the fan requested that he stand still for the photo. All of the angles that occur before he swings at a ball were incorporated in his poses. The incident made millions of people chuckle on social media, thanks to the goofball. Nobody recalls how the match ended, but everyone remembers Federer's poses. 9. Pranks for weighing in. Sean O'Connell, a boxer, is well known for his weigh-in pranks. When he's posing with his opponents after they've been weighed, he starts doing strange things like taking selfies, playing rock, paper, scissors by himself, and drinking his smoothie around their fists. He also occasionally blows bubbles into the air and distributes bouquets. He's entertaining and often makes his opponents laugh. 8. Snacks to eat while weighing in. If snapping photos during weigh-ins is amusing, imagine Eve Edwards bringing refreshments to the weigh-ins. Every time there is a weigh-in, the fighter distributes his food with his opponents. It's extra amusing if the goal is to make them heavier in the split seconds before they're weighed. For the ceremony, he carries largely chips. 7. Face slam by accident. In October of this year, James Harden had a bad night. Only 8 of his 29 tries resulted in a successful shot. Josh Hart, the star of the New Orleans Pelicans, was keeping an eye on the 2017 to 2018 MVP. James tried to fish for a three-point foul towards the end of the second quarter, but the officials disregarded him. He slammed the ball into the ground and hurt his face as a result of his poor performance and the fact that the referees were watching his actions. Despite this, the Houston Rockets defeated the Pelicans 126 to 123 to earn their first victory of the season. For the next quarter, James Harden returned to the court and had a fantastic finish. With 29 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists, he led his squad in scoring. When a reporter questioned James Harden if the incident affected him, he replied, "It hit the beard, so I was protected." The ball striking his face isn't the most amusing aspect of the event. Josh Hart's reply is what I'm referring to. Hart saw the situation in real time because he was the one protecting him all night and on that particular play. He gave a concerned and shocked look, but in a light-hearted manner. The video has subsequently become a meme, with many people misinterpreting it as a kind of self-punishment. 6. Dunking yourself through the hoop. Nearly 2,000 spectators attended the game between the Phoenix Suns and the Charlotte Bobcats at the U.S. Airways Center in Phoenix, Arizona. The Sun Gorilla Assault Patrol Squad performs spectacular dunking demonstrations, flipping, spinning, and somersaulting during halftime entertainment. The audience applauded as the acrobats thrilled them, but one of the performers stood out from the rest. The showman slam dunked himself, and the ball threw the basket by accident. With the help of the trampoline, the young man propelled himself into the air and pursued the ball through the hoop with his head first. As he rose from the crash pad and staggered straight into his coach like a drunk, the audience burst out laughing. As he exited the stage and returned to the backstage area, the audience continued to chuckle. This is an important lesson for every basketball player to learn. He instilled in everyone the importance of ensuring that their shot is successful. To be sure, you must occasionally follow the ball through the hoop. This episode is amusing, but hopes he moves on and continues to dunk in the future, perhaps pausing where the ball enters this time. 5. The pole vaulter breaks the pole. If you ask me, sending people into the air with a flexible pole is an accident-prone sport. Regardless, it is one of the most popular Olympic events. Dmitry Starodubtsev, a well-known Russian pole vaulter, leapt in a competition and quickly descended. The pole snapped in half, preventing him from reaching the 19-foot height he desired. The athlete slid to the ground, but incurred hand injuries, forcing him to withdraw from the tournament. The IAAF World Championships were held in Daegu, South Korea. If he had fallen on the floor instead of the padded section, the narrative may have been different. Starodubtsev is a pole vaulting champion who has excelled as both a kid and an adult performer. He is one of the top 20 pole vaulters in history. 4. Nachos in the middle of the game. Prince Fielder was a baseball player whose career came to an end in 2016. In September 2013, he pulled off a hilarious stunt that had everyone talking for days. We all know how long baseball games take and how physically demanding the sports are. If you're a big guy like Fielder of the Detroit Tigers, you might be becoming hungrier as the game goes on. He is a fantastic player who has helped his team win numerous major league games. When his team faced the Seattle Mariners at the Detroit Tigers commercial park, he snatched some nachos from an unsuspecting fan. The fan was right on the field's edge, with nachos on a platter. Fielder was pursuing a foul ball but couldn't catch it, so he took a nacho from the plate instead. He did, however, forget to dip it in the cheese. Fielder was spurred by the nacho moment to score a run, giving his team the lead in the 4-4 tie before the event. 3. Celebration on the outside. After the ball hits behind the net, you always know if a goal is offside. However, the normal human inclination is not to wait to learn whether or not your desire is permissible. Kerem Bullet is a forward for the Wanderers. Everything that went wrong in their game against Melbourne City was down to him. He was 3 times offside, received a yellow card, and was smacked in the head by an opponent's knee. He was able to re-enter the game and have a strong second half. But it was he who had the most uncomfortable moment in the 51st minute. Bullet scored the game's first goal after receiving the ball from Nicolas Martinez. The linesman, on the other hand, indicated it as offside, something Bullet was unaware of. The ecstatic forward went madly into the Wanderers supporters and continued to celebrate for over 30 seconds before realizing that none of his teammates were doing the same. That's when the decision hit me like a ton of bricks. The terrible thing is that Bullet was shown to be in onside position in the replays. He was just a bystander in a game of line ball. 2. Touchdown Squirrel. A squirrel scored a 4 to 5 yard touchdown in the Louisville football stadium, to the delight of the crowd watching the Louisville vs. Kent State game. Everyone kept shouting and cheering for the animal, making it the most thrilling portion of the college football game. The squirrel's run was even referred to as part of the game by the IFOX sports announcers. When the squirrel landed, it came to a halt. That was when the crowd was the loudest, and you could see a mixture of fear and exhaustion in the air. The invader became uneasy due to the high level of excitement in the air, so he came to a halt to catch his breath and try to hide among the colorful grass. 1. Weight falling off in the middle of a long jump. When it comes to jumping, the most realistic approach is to feel as light as possible. It's difficult to jump to your full height because of the added weight. To make a record-breaking jump, one must be as light and streamlined as possible. Nigerian long jumper Blessing Akegbear has different thoughts about how to leap light. She finished 6th in her first ever Oslo Diamond League competition in 2017. She jumped a fantastic 6.21 meters. However, something funny happened before she received an overwhelming round of applause. Her wig fell off in mid-flight. The athlete's fake ponytail landed in the sand where it was meant to. Anyone who owns a wig understands that having it fall into a sand pit is not ideal. It's the first time a long jump contestant's wig has come off while landing. She swiftly snatched the wig, dusted it up, and put it back on after making history. She didn't show any signs of embarrassment or nervousness. Another point of contention is why she is competing in a wig. Despite the fact that many media labeled it as humiliating, she proceeded to thrive and is today an Olympic long jumper. Following the encounter, the athlete took to Instagram to make light of the situation. "It is what it is," she wrote. What do you think the funniest sporting moment is? Which one would you have chosen if you could have been in the audience for any of these? Please let us know in the comment section. We are delighted to receive your message.